haven't talked to the camera in a week and I'm nervous. Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. It's not a book haul, it's not a book tag or anything like that. It is book related though. Today I am going to be making my video about the traveling book. So I was lucky enough to receive the traveling book. It's not something I ever thought I would get to be a part of, but it's really exciting that I got to be a part of it. Thank you, Whitney at Witty Novels. She was the one that had it previous to me, and so now I've had it for, I want to say almost 2 weeks. It's coming up on the 2-week mark on Monday, so I have to get it out like ASAP. So that's why I'm making my video now, because then I'm going to be getting this all boxed up and I am shipping it off to the next person, which I will mention at the very end of this video. So all of these sticky notes, all of them, oop, the star fell off again, excuse me. I've got it. This star, I've been having a lot of issues with the clip on the back that was supposed to hold it to the book. I've almost lost it once, actually, and it was a traumatic experience because I was like, oh god, I can't send this book off without the star. And then I found it under the couch because one of the cats knocked it under my aunt's couch. I'm not sure if the clip got broke by somebody along the way that got to me, or if it was sent like this when the person put it on there, whoever it was. The other videos to this traveling book are linked on Miranda's original video, so I'll link that down below. So the traveling book was started by Miranda at Books 101, and so she picked up this copy of Tiffios, sent it around the world, and so it's hit like everywhere, well not everywhere in the US, but it's hit a few places in the US, it's been to the UK, and I think a couple other cool places, and now it's in Canada with me. So everybody that's gotten it has gone through it, either reread it or just gone and found their favorite spots. They've marked it off with like a pen, pencil, whatever you fancy using. I used red pen, so all the red pen marks in here are me. I'm going to go through and show you guys some of the things I said. I'm not sure that I'm going to show you all of them because that will be a hella long video. But we'll see how it goes, so let's get started. So I am about to go through all of these, and I'm literally going through the whole book. So if you have not seen the movie or if you have not read this book, go read it, go watch it, go do that before you read this or see this video because it's going to get spoilery up in here. So starting with the front cover of the book, I have added two little charmy thingies. This one is just 3 hearts, and originally I'd planned to go get like Hazel's name on the, like get it engraved. Get this one engraved with Hazel's name, and this one with Augustus's name. His name. And then on the back of both of those I was going to get Tiffios, but I never got the chance to do that because it's coming up on the time that I have to send it out. So I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get to do that, but the charm is still there. Previously, the charm had been up here, but I decided to move it down here, so I had to find something to put there, and my bookmark that I have up there that I'm keeping is Tiffios, and it came with a little tiny star bead on it, like on the talus thingy. So I added that to a little blue string and then tied it through that little hole that this charm made, and so it's another Tiffios related thing that I put in there. I'm going to take the pens and this star thingy off just so that it's easier to maneuver the book. The next thing that I added to the book is I am sending along one of my Tiffios bookmarks. This one says, okay, okay. And I haven't, oh, that was upside down, but it says, okay, okay, and it's an infinity sign. And then on the back, I wrote, please feel free to use when reading. Love, Danny. And then it says, don't take out of the book. In my very messy writing, which is not focusing. I'm sorry. But it's in there. And I've just tucked that here in the very front page. And there's all the rules that Miranda wrote. I'm going to show this page because me and my mom tried so hard. Miranda, at the very end of her rules right here, right? She said, Sassy says meow, which is her cat, I'm guessing. Yes? It's a cat, meow. Somebody added meows with a little cat face, and then I said Indy says merp back, because Indy does not meow, she merps. She goes, merp, and I find it so cute, so I say merp instead of meow. But over here on the main page, somebody had drawn that. If you can see right here, it looks like a smudgy mark of pink and blue, and I have it circled, and it says Danny's failed attempt at getting her cat to finger or rather paw paint with crappy paint. The paint was really crappy and she was not cooperating. So we tried that because I wanted to get her little paw print in there to say hi back to Sassy, but it didn't work. And then up here, we tried Bingo Dabber. We tried teal, bluish, green Bingo Dabber. And I said Bingo Dabber was slightly more effective because she actually got something on the page that time, but it doesn't really resemble a paw print. And then it says, Indy says hi. Whitney had posted, remember when we were all young and naive thinking this wouldn't ruin our lives? And I said, we were wrong. In capital letters with an exclamation point. But also on this page, and any other page that has the starting chapter, I've filled in the little holes of the letters that have holes. So like A, P, O, R, those sort of letters, I filled those in. And that I've done that for every single chapter in the book. It mentioned Isaac, and it was saying he's a long-faced skinny guy with straight blonde hair swept over one eye. And I'm hoping I'm not the only one. I said, what happened? I think I've always pictured him a brunette. Am I the only one that's pictured him a brunette always, even though it said blonde? I always pictured him brunette. I don't know why. Okay, in the car with Gus, and he's driving to his house, and they're going to go watch V for Vendetta, and somebody's messaging me. So Hazel's just like, I'm not sure I agree. I suspect it's a cancer perk, and I wrote right here, total cancer perk. At the scene where I think I want to say they're in his bedroom, and they're playing The Price of Dawn, or the game of The Price of Dawn, and he grabs her hand and he says cold, and then she said not so cold as much as not cold so much as under oxygenated. And then he's like, I love it when you talk medical to me. So down here at the bottom of the page, I wrote, talk medical to me, drops beat, cue trumpet. So on the next page of that, it was talking about Gus's favorite band, which is the Hectic Glow. So I underlined the name, the Hectic Glow. And over here I said, are they real? To Google I go, and then 3 seconds later, after I had Googled it, I said, conclusion, no, they are not. When she's at the mall with Caitlin, and she's with the little girl, Jackie, and it's her mother instead of the guy at the airport, and Whitney wrote R.I.P. John Green's cameo in the movie. So over here, I was talking about her mother, and I said, imagine John dressed as a woman for his cameo. Just 'cause. That's what came to mind, so that's what I wrote. And right now, thinking about it, it seems really, really weird, and I kind of wish I hadn't wrote that. Whitney put, in chapter 4, she was just because Hazel was talking about an imperial affliction, so she was like, put a tally if you Googled an imperial affliction after this scene. So I put a tally. So hopefully anybody after me will put a tally on there too, because I'm sure me and Whitney are not the only people who Googled an imperial affliction. Hazel's just finished reading The Price of Dawn, and she went and found the number on the inside cover, and so I drew a little tiny box and said Augustus, and then it has a bunch of X's as if it were his phone number, and then it says call me, and then down here where it says, as I recall you promised to call when you finish the book, not text, I put a little box around call as if it was the button. So now we're at the part where Gus has just finished an imperial affliction, and it comes to the part where he's texting Hazel, and he's just like, tell me that my copy is missing the last 20 pages or something. Hazel Grace, tell me I have not reached the end of this book. Oh my god, did they get married or not? Oh my god, what is this? I guess Anna dies or so it just ends. Cruel, call me when you can, hope it's all okay. So I highlighted all around it, and I said it never fails to make me laugh uncontrollably, because every time I read it, it makes me smile, and I literally belly laugh. hardcore belly laugh. At the end of that chapter, when Gus says, "That's the thing about pain, it demands to be felt," somebody has drawn an awesome little book of an imperial affliction, and I love all the drawings that are in this. So whoever did that in the blue pen, you did an awesome job, and I wish I could draw, especially like that. But underneath the book, I said, "I, like Hazel, want to know what happens to the others. I wish AIA was a real book, just me." So if there's anybody else who gets this book and they want to know what happens, or they want AIA to become a real book, let me know, because I can't be the only one. I don't want to be the only one. On the page where Isaac's gone blind, Hazel's visiting him in the hospital, and it's like the part where they're listing the qualities of a good nurse. And I know I've heard from Whitney that, like from her video, that this part was taken straight from Esther's journal, so she put the Esther RIP thing beside it. And then I highlighted all of the qualities that they said, and I said they're all so true, because I, from experience, know that that's like the qualities of a good nurse. Trust me. So in Van Houten's letter to Hazel the first time, his line is like, "Not that I don't trust you, of course, but I don't trust you." I highlighted that, like I underlined it, because that's so true for like so many things, so many people. It's like, I trust you, but I don't trust you. So on this page and this page, I've done what Whitney did for a couple of the pages. She only did it like 2 or 3 times. I did it this once, and I thought it was fitting, so I went through and I circled AMSTRADAM, and then at the bottom of the page I said, "Hint, Amsterdam." Somebody has drawn a picnic, like their picnic, and it has sandwiches and a bottle of orange juice and a backpack. So I added 3 little red circles, and I said, "Tomatoes from Mexico, sorry." So if anybody got that reference from like when he was handing her the old Dutch cheese sandwich, then yeah, you'll get it. Caitlin's talking about preemptive dumping, and somebody was like, "She was right." Someone else was like, "So right." Someone else was like, Someone else like, "Finger snap." So I'm just like, why did she have to be right? I underlined the line when him and Hazel are doing the okay via text, and Whitney had circled the things like text bubbles, and so I underlined, "Oh my god, stop flirting with me," because every time I read that, it literally makes me smile and laugh, so I underlined it and said favorite thing ever. So on the next page is where shit gets real, and Hazel is cuddling with Bluey, and then she woke up at 4 in the morning with apocalyptic pain fingering out from the unreachable center of my head. And somebody had drawn an alarm clock with 4 o'clock in the morning on it, so I said, "Here we go, all downhill from here." Okay, so we're at the part where they're talking about being virgins, and he's like, "Do you have a pen and a piece of paper?" And he's like, "Okay, please draw a circle. Now draw a smaller circle within that circle. The smaller circle is 17-year-old guys with 1 leg, and the larger circle is rich ones." So nobody took this opportunity, so I took this opportunity. I underlined where he said that, and then I drew the circle within the circle. I took the opportunity, and I don't regret it. Okay, so Gus is telling Hazel that he loves her, and I'm just like, and here come the tears. Right there, here come the tears. They're rolling down my face. They were. It never fails. That part and the other part that everybody knows, it gets me every single time. And might I point out that that is a very awesomely drawn airplane, and somebody put, "Nothing has ever looked like this ever in all of human history." I think that was Whitney, actually, and that is like an A+ drawing of an airplane. It was the line where he was saying, "Come quickly, I'm tasting the stars," and Whitney's just like, "The fault in our champagne," so I underlined that. My question is, I put it in here, and it's the part where they're just like, "We don't speak Dutch," and then somebody else is just like, "The beautiful couple is beautiful." I was like, why was this not in the movie? He was talking about Sisyphus, and it was like the hamster gets adopted by Christine. He is adopted by Christine and lives for a couple years after the end of the novel and dies peacefully in his hamster sleep. So I highlighted that part, and I was like, so he can play along here with Sisyphus, but he can't play along for the rest. Like, I know it would seem like playing along would be pitying her, and she didn't want his pity, But why couldn't he play along? Why did he have to be such an asshole? So Augustus has just taken Hazel out of the room after she flips out on Van Houten. And I'm just like, I just picture him huddled around her to protect her. Because that's something Augustus would do. Is it not? Am I the only one that thinks that? Okay, so they're about to become non-virgins. And she's just like, oh, get over yourself. And then she says, further down, she's like, I love you, Augustus Waters. I said, don't we all? But then right next to it, after he reached down and tried to pull my shirt off, but then it got tangled in the tube, I laughed. And then there was like a ... So by the ... I'm like, it's stuck. Because that's my favorite part of the movie, is when they're trying to get her shirt off and she's just like, it's stuck. So this is the part just before Gus is telling her. And somebody else is just like, stop here and pretend like neither die and they get married. And I'm like, right beside that, I wrote, don't go any further. Just don't go any further. Just listen to the person, pretend they got married and neither of them die. He was talking about how he broke down. The world is not a wish granting factory, and then he broke down. And as soon as I see that he broke down, it's like, I can't picture a guy crying and then not feel bad or like not cry. Like, because guys don't cry very often because they try to be as manly as they can. And then, like, when they do break down, you know it's something bad. And like, this is obviously really bad. But I just, as soon as I picture a guy crying, I start crying. So I need to stop picturing Augustus crying. Excuse me a moment. They're coming home and her dad's there, and it says dad had a sign of his own. And so Whitney, I know this because I watched her video, but she was like, when he made the sign, so it says my beautiful family and Gus, she made that little picture, but she forgot the hair. So I said, you forgot the hair, Whitney, and then added a little spiky quiff type picture hair thingy. It was very unsteady as I was underlining this, but it's the part where Gus tells Hazel to take a picture of him and Isaac. And she snapped the picture and then described it. Augustus, an unlit cigarette in his mouth, his smile deliciously crooked, holds the mostly empty pink egg carton above his head. His other hand is draped around Isaac's shoulder, whose sunglasses are turned not quite towards the camera. Behind them, egg yolk drips down the windshield and bumper of the green Firebird. And behind that, a door is opening. So I underlined all of that because it just... And then at the very bottom of that page, it was just like, I never took another picture of him. So I underlined that because that made me sad. It's Hazel's like, she's calling the 911 emergency peoples, and she's just like, hi, I'm at the Speedway at 86 in the ditch, and I need an ambulance. And then I underlined, the greatest love of my life has a malfunctioning G-tube. And somebody's like, that's it, I'm broken. And somebody, or not somebody else, me, I said, no, I'm not okay. That part was not in the movie. She just said she needed an ambulance, and that bothered me because I wanted to hear her say, the great love of my life has a malfunctioning G-tube, because it made the situation a whole lot better. And it didn't happen in the movie. I'm outraged. Outraged, I tell you. So much depends upon the transparent G-tube erupting from the gut of a blue lip boy. And I underline that because it sounds so pretty, and yet just... no. No. Chapter 20 starts out as one of the less bullshitty conventions of the Cancer Kid genre is the Last Good Day convention. And I have read this book 9 times. So at the very big top of this page, I said I've read this book so many times that I knew how this chapter started word for word without reading it. So in chapter 21, if you all don't know, that's the chapter that Augustus dies. If you didn't know that, you should have read the book. Or why are you watching? I don't know. But Whitney had posted this instead of Augustus Waters died 8 days after his pre-funeral, which I knew the line of that too. She put Augustus Waters got all better on the 2 sticky notes. So on her sticky note, I wrote, and married Hazel at Funky Bones and lived happily ever after. Because they need to live happily ever after. And she doesn't die. So it's all good. On the next page is Hazel's on the Facebook page of Gus, and it's like, I miss you already, bro. I love you, Augustus. God bless and keep you. You'll live forever in our hearts, big guy. Big man, whatever. Whitney, in between those, wrote, "Come back, you didn't deserve this, fuck you, John Green." So I put a little bouncy line between those three, and I said, "These broke me. Thanks, Whitney." Well, mainly the first two, and then the third one made me laugh. Chapter 22, Hazel's talking about how there were 80 chairs set up at Gus's funeral, and she was like, it was 2/3 full but felt 1/3 empty. I underlined that line right there because it made me sad. We are at the part where they're at, like, touch the cave wall, lick the cave wall, all that kind of stuff. Whitney, I think, highlighted it all and said, "Why wasn't this in the movie?" So I underlined what she said, "Why wasn't this in the movie?" And I said, 100% agree. That whole bit needed to be in there. I was waiting for it. That was the main reason I wanted a movie. I wanted them to do that, and they didn't. And I think that's because they don't actually have, like, the blind person counterinsurgents game sort of thing. So, and then at the end of that, he's just like, I dislike living in a world without Augustus Waters. I don't understand, me neither. I said, a world without Augustus Waters is like a lifetime without rain or air. Augustus's letter to Van Houten. And it's like, we're as likely to hurt the universe as we are to help it, and we're not likely to either. Somebody had already underlined that, but I felt the need to underline it myself. A few things down, it was the same person that underlined it as well, but I underlined it. The real heroes, anyway, aren't the people doing things. The real heroes are people noticing things, paying attention. And then on the last page, basically, Augustus's whole spiel about what else she's so beautiful, you don't get tired of looking at her. Basically, I put a little line around that, and I said, "Oh, Gus." And then I underlined the last, I want to say 4 sentences of his spiel, and it's like, you don't get to choose if you get hurt in this world, old man, but you do have a say in who hurts you. I like my choices, and I hope she likes hers. I do, Augustus, I do. I underlined all of those, because that's probably one of my favorite things about this book is the ending. Okay, so just 2 pages after the ending page, somebody had wrote their poem here, but Whitney had her acrostic poem, the Tiffios thing. So she did that, and then I said at the bottom, "That was beautiful, Whitney." And then I signed my name, because she signed her name. The last thing that I did, well, second to last thing that I did, was there were 2 blank pages at the very end of the book, just before the page where everybody signed everything, and it was just after John Green's, like, author page. So I took markers and I did okay, so not okay, and then signed my name in red. And the last thing that I did was at the very end of the book, I have signed my name right underneath Whitney's. I put my name, Danny Maxwell, then my YouTube name, Danny Darling. I put 11/12/2014 because I've had it for 1 week in November and this week of December. And then I put Ontario, Canada, where I live. So it is in with all the signatures. So, yay! I went through and I did all of that. I'm so happy. Honestly, this has been an awesome experience because we've all gone through this. And it was a blast going through and reading what everybody else had to say about it too. And I'm definitely happy to be able to say I was a part of the traveling book, the Traveling Tiffios book. Now that I'm done with this, I am going to get a box and I'm going to ship it off to the next and probably the last person of this year to receive the book. It might get to her a little late because it's coming up on Christmas time and everybody's sending everything, but Miranda knows that. She also knows who is getting this book, and so the person that is getting this book from me is Casey Ann, and she is in the UK. So I am very excited to send it Casey's way. She will then send this book to Miranda after her 2 weeks are up and her video's up. And then I think Miranda said she was going to send it back around again to other places. So hopefully this will go out again and more people will get to join in and read everything I put in here, read everything everybody else put in here. This is the best thing ever. Like, I can't stop smiling now that I'm done this video and now that I'm done this and like thinking about it. It made me so happy, and I think that's the main thing that Miranda was trying to do with this book. Just, it was an awesome idea, and it was amazing to be a part of it. So that was my experience with the traveling book. I am now going to get a box and ship it off to Casey, and then it will be going around again, hopefully, and it's a great experience, and I hope that everybody gets a chance to do it eventually. And I'm hoping another one comes around soon. Like, I'm hoping other people start up traveling books, because I'd love to be a part of those too. So
with that, she'll see you in her next video. Bye, guys!
bye!